what was Earth like 300,000 years ago? Soft ambient music fades in, wind through trees, distant animal calls. Narrator calm, soothing tone. Close your eyes, and imagine a time before civilization. Before cities, before writing, before the first spark of human history. Tonight, we journey back 300,000 years, to an Earth untouched by modern hands. A world wild, raw, and alive. This is our planet's ancient heartbeat. Welcome to History for Sleep. Gentle instrumental transition. Globe Chapter 1, The Shape of the World. 300,000 years ago, the continents already looked familiar, but the world was colder, wilder, and emptier. Africa sat in its cradle of warmth, while vast glaciers spread across parts of Europe and Asia. There were no skyscrapers, no farms, only forests, grasslands, and endless deserts. The Sahara was not yet the endless sea of sand we know today. Instead, it breathed with rivers and lakes, home to hippos, crocodiles, and early humans. Mountains towered higher, their peaks untouched by pollution or noise. Volcanoes rumbled in the distance, shaping the land slowly, endlessly. If you could look at Earth from space, you would recognize her, blue oceans, swirling clouds, but her spirit was still that of a wild planet, untamed and free. Chapter 2, The Beating Heart of Life. Life pulsed through every corner of the Earth. Forests stretched across Europe, filled with bears, lions, and mammoths. In the African plains, vast herds of antelope and elephants grazed under the sun. And somewhere, in a small valley surrounded by stone and shadow, a group of early humans gathered around a fire. They were Homo heidelbergensis, the ancestors of both Neanderthals and modern humans. They hunted with wooden spears. They shared food, protected their young, and learned to fear the darkness. Their world was simple, but filled with danger and wonder. At night, they would gaze at the same stars we see today, perhaps wondering, just like us, what lies beyond. Fire Chapter 3, The First Sparks of Humanity. Around this time, something extraordinary was happening. In Africa, a new species was emerging, Homo sapiens. Our ancestors. They were smarter, more curious, and more adaptable than any who came before. They began shaping stone into tools with precision. They learned to control fire, not just to cook, but to survive. The world they were born into was unpredictable. Lions roamed the plains. Saber-toothed cats stalked from the shadows. Every sound at night could mean life or death. But humans had something no other creature did: imagination. The ability to dream, to plan, to remember, and to hope. That was the moment everything began to change. Wind Phase Chapter 4, The Climate of Ice and Dust. The Earth 300,000 years ago was locked in the rhythm of ice ages. Long, frozen winters stretched for centuries. Then, warmer periods melted the snow, feeding rivers that carved new valleys. The atmosphere was thinner, cleaner, untouched by smoke or industry. Winds carried the scent of rain, pollen, and life. Thunderstorms rolled across Africa, feeding green lands that stretched for hundreds of miles. In Europe, ice walls stood like white mountains, creeping forward inch by inch. Animals migrated in great herds, following the seasons. And humans followed them. Elephant Chapter 5, Giants of the Past. Imagine standing on a hill in ancient Africa. The sun sets golden across the horizon. In the distance, massive shapes move through the grass, creatures the world has long forgotten. There are mammoths, covered in thick fur. There are giant buffalo, saber-toothed cats, and even giant hyenas. Birds the size of small airplanes soar above ancient forests. Crocodiles as long as buses lurk beneath quiet rivers. It was a time of giants. But among them, humans were small, fragile, and few. And yet, we endured. Cooking Knife Chapter 6, The Hunters and the Firekeepers. By now, early humans had learned the art of survival. They hunted with sharpened stones. They shared stories through gestures and sounds. They lived in small tribes. Family was everything. At night, fire became their guardian. The flames kept predators away, but they also brought warmth, comfort, and perhaps, the first moments of storytelling. Imagine a circle of humans huddled together, shadows dancing on the cave walls. A mother soothes her child. A hunter sharpens his tool. And an elder looks into the flames, whispering memories of the hunt. It's possible that was when humanity's first stories were born. Around a fire, beneath ancient stars. Feather Chapter 7, Sounds of the Ancient Earth. The nights were filled with music, not human music, but nature's own orchestra. Crickets sang in the grass. Frogs called from ancient ponds. Wolves howled under the moonlight, their cries echoing through the valleys. Rivers murmured, trees sighed, wind whispered secrets through canyons. There were no cities, no machines, only the language of the wild. And for those who lived then, every sound had meaning. A rustle in the grass could mean dinner, or danger. A distant roar could be the end, or a reminder of the balance of life. Globe Chapter 8, Shaping the World We'd Inherit. The world was changing slowly. Volcanoes erupted, spreading fertile soil across the land. Continents drifted, millimeter by millimeter. Early humans migrated, across Africa, into Asia, and eventually into Europe. They followed rivers and herds, seeking food and shelter. Over thousands of years, they adapted, darker skin for hotter climates, lighter skin for colder lands. Each generation carried forward a piece of the story that began here, 300,000 years ago. Sunrise Chapter 9, The Dawn of Us. And then, one day, not in a single moment, but over countless lifetimes, something changed. Humans began to think beyond survival. They buried their dead with care. They painted caves with colors from the earth. They made music, carved tools, and passed down knowledge. The spark of consciousness grew into a flame that would one day light the world. Everything we are, our art, our science, our love, began with those first wanderers, walking barefoot across the ancient plains. Milky Way Chapter 10, The Eternal Planet. The Earth has turned many times since then. Empires have risen and fallen. Mountains have crumbled, oceans have shifted, but beneath all the change, the memory of that world remains, in our bones, our DNA, and our dreams. Every heartbeat carries the echo of those who came before. Every breath is filled with the same air that once touched the faces of our ancestors 300,000 years ago. When you close your eyes tonight, listen to the quiet rhythm of the earth. It's the same rhythm they heard. The same song that never stopped. And maybe, just maybe, you'll feel the ancient world calling, softly, from across time. Gentle music fades out, leaving silence and calm. Narrator whisper, good night, traveler of time. Sleep well, in the memory of Earth. ZZZ the end.